Hello and welcome to Autology, the podcast that brings you the latest on automotive technology. Today we're diving into the fascinating evolution of head-up displays and the rise of holographic technology. And you are here with me, Matthew Beecham, and Vivek Berwell, our supply chain and technology analyst at S&P Global Mobility, and Andy Travers, the CEO of Ceres Holographics. Based in Scotland, Ceres is at the forefront of creating thin-film holographic optical elements for transparent displays and augmented reality. Hello to you both, and thank you very much for joining Autology.
Hi,
Thanks for the
Matthew.
introduction, Matthew.
Pleased to be here.
Thank you. The automotive world is buzzing with exciting changes. Cars are getting smarter with advanced sensors, communication features, and even autonomous driving technology. The shift is transforming vehicle interiors, making electronics a key cost factor. Displays are popping up everywhere in vehicles too, including impressive head-up displays that project essential information right in front of the windscreen on cars like the Volkswagen Golf and Kia Niro. So Vivek, could I start by asking if you could walk us through some of the automotive head-up display trends, please?
Sure. As development costs continue to decrease and the size of the typical HUD system continues to shrink, head-up displays are being increasingly adopted into volume vehicle platforms globally. I mean, they're definitely not confined to luxury vehicles anymore. I think what's happening in the larger scheme of things concerning the case megatrends, higher connectivity, autonomy, vehicle sharing, and electrification, is that it's rubbing off on the user interface and experience side of vehicles. Drivers today want more intuitive, interactive, and personalized in-vehicle displays. And this has manifested rather positively on HUD demand as well. If we look at electric vehicles, there is so much information and data that these vehicles generate. So many parameters around battery maintenance and charging, for instance, battery charge level, available driving range, low battery warning, where's the nearest charging station, good time to charge, and charging history, and not to mention navigation instructions, cluster functions, and so forth. All this information need to be kept visible to the driver, and this is where HUDs come in handy. I think this is the main reason why head-up displays are increasingly being seen as a replacement for some of the lesser used instruments and gauges, which I think can go a long way in decluttering the dashboard. Of late, there has been a lot of buzz surrounding augmented reality-based HUDs. There's no doubt in my mind that the industry is now actively moving towards them, and the reasons are quite apparent. They seamlessly integrate physical and digital information and can add layers of contextual information like road signs, navigation maps, lane departure alerts, and even infotainment content. They basically ensure that the driver takes the most informed decision. Besides this, augmented reality HUDs also have high stakes in addressing driver distraction issues. And many automakers are purely incorporating them just to comply with safety regulations. If I remember correctly, fully functional augmented reality HUDs have made it to production vehicles since 2020. I think the Mercedes-Benz S-Class was one of the first vehicles, if not the first, to have deployed it. Another trend worth mentioning here is the concept of panoramic HUD, which, unlike regular HUDs, do not project information onto the transparent area of the windshield, but onto a black printed area along the lower edge of the windshield. These HUDs have an exceptionally high light intensity and produce a razor-sharp image across the entire width of the windshield, and therefore offer greater visibility to the driver in all lighting conditions. If I can think of one, has already announced they'll be using a panoramic HUD in the first of their new class models in 2025. And similar concepts have also been proposed by other suppliers, including Marelli, Continental, and Nippon Seiki. If we talk about HUD technology, the predominant projection technology today in the global HUD market is LCD. However, new technologies such as digital micromirror device or DMD and micro electromechanical sensors, MEMS-based technology have been gaining traction as well, particularly for AR HUD applications. So this is the gist of where the current HUD market stands today.
That's great. That's very interesting, Vivek. Thanks very much. Particularly around the dashboard decluttering and driver distraction benefits of head-up displays. Andy, we understand that your company is pushing back the technical boundaries of head-up displays by doing a lot of work in the holographic area. I wonder, could you tell us a little bit more about how holographic HUDs work, please?
Certainly, Matthew. First, it's probably beneficial to talk about how conventional automotive head-up displays work, and they do this by projecting content that you want to display as light from a picture generating unit inside the HUD unit. And some of the technologies Vivek just explained there for those PGUs were explained. And that HUD unit is inside the dashboard, and the light is projected up on to the windshield via some relay optics inside the HUD unit. And then that light is reflected from the windshield combiner back towards the viewer's eyes, usually the driver, of course, but increasingly OEMs are looking at passengers having the same experience. But the optical relay components in the optical system have two main functions. They are designed to give magnification power by the use of mirrors, and the size of those mirrors define how far the image appears to be projected in front of the windshield and effectively where the driver sees the image. The width and the height of those mirrors effectively define how large the effective virtual image is for the viewer. But the end result is that the driver or viewer sees the image as though it is out beyond the windshield and normally just below the horizontal line of sight. Achieving the ambition of full augmented reality type performance seems simple, at the start, and there is a huge demand for super large field of view head-up display, which is effectively our HUD with high resolution capability. And it was seen by the OEM car designers as an obvious next step for the cars of the future because people are being normalized to the high resolution smartphone graphics and display graphics in tablets, computers, VR headsets. So OEMs have really long believed in the kind of experience of that display performance, but in HUD, and at a scale of display size that delivered a full augmented reality type performance. So the expectation of full HUD or AR HUD is that it will deliver a significantly more valuable and positive experience for users in the cars of the future. And the cars have the kind of resident computational power now to basically amalgamate all the sensor data collection, process it. And the OEMs recognize that this could be used to enhance the in-car experience by presenting all sorts of new information. So from about 2015, we saw the OEMs really pushing all in after this full augmented reality type performance, imagining what might be possible, have to say, rather than the difficulties of achieving it. So what has been the problem in terms of development of this technology? And if I explain this, it tells you where holography comes in. So the fact is that HUDs they've been around for a while, but they never really took off. The relay optics were non-trivial to design. They had to be custom designed for each car windshield shape and projector position. Another reason was the simple fact that the performance wasn't that great. The image distance and field of view were not stellar. They were just 2 meters in front of the windshield, and they had a very small field of view, maybe 6 by 4 degrees, for instance. But to deliver AR HUD, you need huge conventional optics, and that's really, really difficult to achieve. So first, the higher magnification optics are needed, but the more image distance and wider field of view you want, the larger and more powerful the optics get, it really causes problems. So the full specification of AR HUD becomes really challenging to achieve. And even if systems can be designed to deliver such performance, the size penalty due to the larger relay optics makes them all but impossible to fit in conventional cars. And additionally, there are cost and power consumption penalties, and that's critical. So this is where holography comes in, really. The search for solutions to these problems have been front and center to the OEMs. And unfortunately, there's not an easy solution with conventional glass-based optics. And this is a big reason that holography has emerged as the potential solution to make smaller, high-performance HUDs possible. Holography principles and the actual technology can be applied in two different ways in the HUD system. Firstly, holography can be used to reduce the physical size of those optics by creating thin film holographic optical elements that can be used in the windshield itself to add power instead of being in the HUD projection box. The windshield now becomes a more powerful third element, adding magnifying power and to the system, enabling a larger display size and much better performance. So in this way, you can create more efficient windshield combiners that enable large transparent displays, reduce the size of the whole HUD optical system, as well as reducing power consumption as they more efficiently reflect available light coming from the picture generating unit in the HUD box. But secondly, the science of holography is applied in the projection unit itself, and it can be used, the science of holography can be used to create projected images in a very power effective manner using what's called computer generated holography, CGH. And those techniques use a phase LCOS device coupled to a very advanced computing engine to generate patterns in the LCOS display device. This use of holography delivers benefits in terms of variable image distance, capability, and power efficiency. The CGH technique does not solve the image distance or the field of view challenge, but it's certainly part of the solution of future HUDs and is being championed by the likes of the companies Envisix and VividQ as a couple of examples. At Series Holographics, we are really deeply involved in the first area using holographic films to bend and guide the light. And this is what our business is all about. And the principles are now very well known. We've proven that through many proof of concepts. But what Series are focused on now is industrializing the design and manufacture of these holographic optical elements. Once these are available at mass production levels, they can be used as part of new HUD, AR HUD, and even transparent display, head-up display systems, while keeping the HUD unit size, cost, and power consumption as low as possible.
Thanks very much, Andy. It's very interesting to see how holographics is playing a really pivotal role in moving the HUD game along. I was wondering there, Vivek, what do you see as the key challenges in integrating augmented reality into head-up displays, please?
Yeah, that's a great question, Matthew. I think the challenges in implementing any HUD technology, be it augmented reality based or any other, basically entails managing the overwhelming volume of incoming data from various sources, presenting this information in an uncluttered manner, and ensuring driver safety and engagement. Talking specifically about augmented reality HUDs now, the first important implementation challenge would be to achieve a multifocal display, that is a larger viewing area, without compromising the field of view and giving an optimal positioning on the windshield. Higher the field of view, larger the HUD unit, and consequently higher the cost. So balancing out the field of view in terms of practicality and cost effectiveness is essential. Also important is to ensure that the HUD accurately points out road hazards so that there's minimal invasiveness in driving behavior. HUD brightness and visibility is another challenge for designers. Higher the brightness, more the power consumption, which potentially affects a vehicle's energy efficiency, especially with electric vehicles. So, finding the right balance between brightness, power consumption, and visibility is also crucial. Another key challenge, I would say, is the formation of a ghost image. Most head-up displays currently in production use free-form concave mirrors to magnify the image, as Andy pointed out, and they correct any image distortions caused by the windshield shape. This causes ghost images focused at a short distance from the windshield. What exactly is a ghost image? It reduces the legibility of a HUD and causes comfort and safety issues. And it's quite a critical problem to solve given that more and more content is coming to HUDs. Next, moving on, I think the HUD interface poses another challenge. Integrating augmented reality with information about ADAS systems and other technologies may require additional computational resources and communication protocols. So, balancing out integration complexity with system performance and reliability is equally important. And lastly, I would say complying with various regulatory standards without impacting technical innovation and price competitiveness is quite a challenge as well.
Thanks very much, Vivek. Lots of challenges there. Andy, how do you see head-up displays evolving? I'm just thinking, what types of features could head-up displays provide, and any sort of rough timeline by which they could start to appear in vehicles at all?
Well, we see automotive HUDs being adopted in far greater volumes now in new car models, even planned for 2025. And there's certainly an aspiration for HUD display technology to be installed as standard to some basic level cars rather than supplied as a high cost optional extra in the top range cars. So we strongly believe that there will, however, be a blend of technologies that will deliver far field imaging for the driver and also near field image display in the windshield, and those can also be delivered by the holographic techniques. As I mentioned previously, since about 2015, there's really been this relentless push to get a base augmented reality HUD technology platform that can deliver the kind of performance that required for, you know, vastly different augmented reality experiences that have been envisioned by OEMs. But it has to be at the size and cost point needed for mass proliferation. And Vivek had pointed that out as one of the big drivers. The reality of all this is it's not really been possible, because of the laws of physics and optics, which we talked about, and they're kind of unflinching and sometimes very sobering for us technologists. And this is evidenced in the last 5 or 6 years by a list of AR HUD startup failures. But real progress is now being made towards systems that will start to deliver the visual experiences imagined by the automotive OEMs like BMW, as Vivek mentioned. So, but we see a compromised blend of HUD technologies that deliver some element of the the AR experience being combined with other windshield transparent display technologies. Together, they'll deliver the kind of heads-up and eyes-forward experience that will fundamentally change the user experience in cars and deliver improved safety and comfort. At Series, we feel there are enough display technologies, including ours, to deliver the new platforms and vehicles, but the use of these has actually not been fully explored by the OEMs. And what I mean by that is that HUDs typically have been used to display the usual passive type of content about speed, revs, navigation indicators, fuel, etc. And have not really been used to improve the driving experience and the means by which to select and change vehicle settings or be warned about actions or events. So the use of HUD and transparent displays in the development of the right content in HMI is a huge area of importance going forward, and one that so far has kind of been neglected. Improvements in this area of HMI, or human machine interface, will accelerate the proliferation of the existing level of HUD and the new holographic transparent display technologies. And it will really, the better experience will drive further proliferation, adoption, and further investment in the underlying HUD and transparent display technology. This area of HMI really relates to how you use head-up displays and transparent display best. OEMs, we know, are still on a trend towards semi-autonomous and perhaps one day full autonomous driving, but that's probably a long way off. So in the interim and short term, when we're still in this era of manual driving, or indeed the autonomous levels 1 to 3, there's a huge opportunity to use head-up display and TD to greater effect to manage and control features, settings in the car, and give warnings to the driver about transitions between levels because of safety concerns. So using HUDs and transparent displays in the windshield they're really ideal to signal events, warnings, road conditions in a very safe and low cognitive load manner, which is non-distracting. This is a huge focus now for the OEMs, as some of them have been warned by the regulatory bodies such as NCAP in Europe that they're building too many distracting features into large format touchscreens, to the side or the center console, which really take the driver's eyes off the road. The car is now effectively, a vehicle with a computer on board, and as Vivek alluded to, there's a massive available data from the car, its sensors, and about the world around you, pedestrians, other cars, events, and where you are positionally in the world, and what you and your passengers want to do. So the HMI people know that there are many use cases for this data, and the best experiences will probably be deployed through the use of the HUD and the transparent display technology in the windshield. So I see a great future and an increasing uptake of this HUD technology in all classes of cars. And in our discussions with global OEMs, we know they are proceeding to design in, larger HUDs and transparent display on an increasing basis. We know some of them will be holographic-based displays and some classic type HUD, and some just the transparent displays. So that's really what we see there, Matthew.
That's great. Thanks very much, Andy. So plenty of interesting technologies to look out for there. I just wonder, as the automotive industry dives deeper into the digital world, I've just got one last question for you, Andy, if I may. With intelligent personal assistants, autonomous driving, and even solar-powered cars, holographic displays can seem like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. While the possibilities are exciting, I imagine there are some limitations, though. So, realistically, what do you think the future holds for Windstream's displays?
Oh, that's good. That's a great question. I think that because of the increasing capabilities of HUD and holographic-based displays, we'll start to see these windshield-based displays being used much more valuably and more impactful, way beyond the conventional small format HUDs we've had in the past. And you're right, the blend of AI for intelligent personal assistants and autonomous are one of the key drivers. And I think there'll be something new and exciting coming around the corner. And it'll be meaning, to blend the new far-field HUD and holographic film-based technologies, and then define new ways to use the controls like traditional steering wheel switches, haptic controllers, and voice control inputs to your AI-powered assistant. That all needs to be brought together to bring the whole new driving and HMI experience into the cars of the future. The fact the screen through the driver, through which the driver interacts and views the world, about suggested actions, changes of car features and control adjustment it means they won't have to take their eyes off the road. I don't think we're going to see a three-dimensional Princess Leia or a Star Wars type experience, but it will be a huge step towards the kind of experiences that actually, jet fighter pilots or plane pilots have benefited from in the last 30 years, and that the auto OEMs have really dreamt about replicating.
That's great. Thanks very much, Andy. Great, thank you. And unfortunately, that's all we have time for today. So a big thank you to you both for joining Autology.
Thanks for having us, Matthew.
Glad to be a partner.
Thank you. And thank you to all you listeners for tuning in as well. We'd love to hear your thoughts on today's episode at our autology@spglobal.com email, and you can find out much more at autotechinsight.ihsmarket.com. Don't forget to hit all the subscribe, follow and like buttons to stay on track with the latest Autology podcasts, and we look forward to you joining us again in the next episode. Bye for now.